you do it for me, right? I'm not actually practicing what I need to practice. I'm just finding an easy way, right? And it's the same thing with exercise, right? If it takes you just a little time, it's very fast, it's very easy, then it's not really helping you. But when you're listening to something, watching a movie, you don't want to just stop and then spend half an hour learning a new word. So how can we fix that problem? Because if you Google the word so you can watch TV or watch a movie, then the word doesn't stay with you. So 太快的答案，有一个问题就是答案是很简单的很快的。You can use it right now, but tomorrow, 一定忘记了。So what can we do about that? Do you guys ever write things down anymore? Do people still use pens and write? I always write things down when I have a question, even when I'm reading. Because when you're reading, you don't want to just stop and look up a word in the dictionary, right? If you're reading, you want to keep reading. So if I see a question and I can't figure it out, then I write it down. And I have a whole bunch of things I write down whenever I come to a problem. I write it down, and then I can keep reading, right? Or keep watching, or keep listening. So there are ways that you can do it better. Watching movies is good, but you can always, do better. What about the other skills? What else can you do to build your grammar or your vocabulary? Reading, right? So we have our 4 skills. How many of you actually read books in Chinese? Or how many of you are from Japan? Just the 2 of you? Okay. The rest of you are from Taiwan? No, you're from, I'm sorry, Malaysia. No, Malaysia. And anybody else from not Taiwan? Yeah, from mainland, okay. Oh, okay. You're from, oh, okay. So the rest of you are Taiwan, right? Yeah, I know you're Taiwan. Okay. So, how much do you read in your own language, in Chinese or in Japanese? Do you actually, when you have time, do you read books? Okay. If you can read, maybe a book like this every month, that's pretty good. That's a lot, right? 10 pages a week is a little bit not enough, right? 100 pages a week is a good goal. That's not bad, right? Yeah. 100 books a year is a lot. That's good, right? If you can actually read a lot in your language, then good news. Reading in English will be easy because it's the same skill, right? It's doing the same action. But it's like with, say, watching movies. If you don't watch movies in your language, they're boring. Then you won't watch them to learn a language. The same thing with books, right? If you don't read books in Chinese or in Japanese, then trying to read them in English, it won't work. Just like with newspaper. Anybody read the newspaper? Nobody reads the newspaper. So don't try to read the newspaper in English. It won't work. It'll be boring. You'll give up, right? So that's part of the issue here. But what do you get from reading? When you read lots, how does it help you with speaking? What's the purpose of reading for language practice?
Read a lot.
Yeah, how does it help you? What does it do for you? Is reading about learning new words? Only in your own language. When you are reading in a new language, you shouldn't need to look up a lot of words. The thing is, when you're reading, if every time you read a new sentence you need to stop and find a word, then you're not really reading, you're studying, right? You should be able to read a whole page and maybe have one problem with a word, one word you don't know, or you can't guess, right? So you have to read the right level. If the book is too hard, 是没有用的. The book is too easy, 也是没有用的, right? It's just like with exercising. If I want to exercise and I think, that's okay, right? But if I want to start with this, okay, right? It doesn't help you, it doesn't do anything. You have to be a little bit more than what you can. We have an expression for that. If X is what you can do, right? If you're here or here or here, it doesn't matter. Whatever you can do, 多一点, a little bit more. That should be your goal for reading. But what does reading help you with? If it's not words, remember? Reading gives you lots of examples of sentences. So listening can help you with words. Reading, it's not about the words, it's about how the words go together. It's a one for the one. That's where reading a lot can help you. Okay? You see a lot of sentences, you see different ways for these ideas to go together. 文法不是规则，是关系，是质的关系, right? Grammar is the relationship between words. So what about writing? Do you guys like to write? Writing can be fun. How much do you write? 一个礼拜多少写？差不多。It's male. Right? When you practice writing, how do you practice? Or, if nobody likes writing for fun, if there's homework, right? 有功课，要写功课. How do you do that? You write it and give it to the teacher, right? Yeah, but that's no use. 是没有用的. It's like if I want to learn basketball and I play basketball and I know doing it this way is wrong, right? I can't use two hands to play basketball. It's wrong, but 没关系. I don't worry about it. It's fun. I'm just playing. When you just write and give it to the teacher, or when you write and send, or send an email, you guys ever do this? Don't do this. It's really bad practice. Remember, you can practice bad too. So, every time you do this, or you make a mistake and you don't fix it, you're practicing doing it wrong. writing is great practice if you do it right. You write a little bit, 要写很多，写一点点， and then read it, right? And look for mistakes. This part here is a great time for writing practice. When you practice writing, you have time, you have a chance to find every mistake. 每个问题可以找它 right? 可以跟拼法开始. You start with spelling. Every time you make a spelling mistake, you have a chance to learn. So you can ignore it, or you can learn from it. 每次有拼法的问题，拼法有错，是可以练习 right? It's a chance to learn. But you're still practicing when you don't look for the mistakes. You're practicing it wrong. Writing, you practice spelling, and don't Google. Use him. This is a great friend. He will help you with any study, right? When you check your spelling, every time you look for a word, your brain is working. It's